Inspire, motivate, challenge.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm still going to ask you a few questions.
No problem. No problem.
So, I think maybe let's take it back to like a potential somebody who is watching.
Okay.
So you've talked about getting experience from all the jobs you had previously, and that helped you to build the foundation for what you are doing now.
Yeah.
So what I'll ask now is because we hear a lot of stories now. If you have on social media, on the news, there are a lot of young people who come out from school and they have startups now.
Okay.
Or they are starting businesses. But if you think about it from your experience, would you say can a young person go straight into what you're doing now, as in after school, or do you think they should get that experience first?
Okay. I would say they need to get that experience, no matter how short it is. So there's a challenge with indigenous companies, small organizations. They have both challenges and strengths. Many small organizations, because their owners, I don't know how much, sometimes their owners don't have that much business experience. They don't have processes. And without processes, sometimes you cannot scale. The flip side of it is that too much processes can also, too much bureaucracy can also inhibit your scale, which is a challenge for large organizations. Your organization needs to be flexible as well. So the thriving organization, the thriving startup should have the right balance of processes and flexibility. Okay, so the working in an organization for a bit, or having a mentorship experience, okay, or working in an organization can give you an understanding of processes. When you in B2B business, there's a way to do things. At least the kind of business that we do, we interface with hospitals, we interface with multinationals. There's a way to talk. There's a way to email. There's documentation that needs to be done. There are legal requirements. And if you don't have people on your team, the founder might not be the one with that experience, but they must be senior level people who have that kind of understanding to bring processes to an organization. So I don't know how a young person living in school will be able to attract that kind of a talent to be their subordinate or to co-found with them, but my working in some of these organizations have really helped me to have understanding operating procedures, understanding trainings, or having policies so that staff are guided in a way to work. I think that's really important, because you have to think about longevity. You have to think about when you are not in the business, can the team complete projects, tasks without the founder being there? And that's being putting processes in place. And how does a young person who has not worked anywhere even understand how to do this, except he has intern, or except he has partners or co-founders who have that kind of experience? And we see this in multinational startups as well. Or the young person must have a way to attract talent that has this experience. So we see, for example, if Facebook and Uber, when at a certain stage they recruit people from Google, they might recruit the CEO of Google, or the chief marketing officer, or the chief commercial officer from Google, or from another startup, to come and bring that experience, that process thinking, that designing the organization. So how does a young person who doesn't have any experience do that? There will be a lot of chaos. So I think either you get that experience working somewhere, or you must find a way to attract talent that already has that experience, or someone to mentor you, senior advisor that will mentor you to that kind of how to build an organization. All right.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, solid advice. Sorry, one last question on Greenwich.
No problem.
I'm enjoying this. So, I know we don't want to delve into business secrets and all.
No, I'll try.
Can you just share, because your business is, there's a lot of importation is involved, right?
Yes.
Devices, and then you have the regulatory arm as well.
Yes.
So can you just tell us some of the ways? I'm sure there are challenges there, obviously. So how do you navigate some of those challenges?
Okay, so yes, there are challenges. The regulatory environment in Nigeria is growing. We have a lot of bones to pick with the regulators, but we understand the regulators have a tough job. Nigeria's health market is growing rapidly, so there's a lot of new understanding, new equipment, new consumables, and the fact that we're also we're developing country, disposable incomes are not there yet. They are challenging. So regulation must, my opinion is that regulation must reflect the environment, while it still does regulation as well, does the work of regulation. So some of the ways we've gone around it, we've tried to move around it. We work with other organizations that have an older relationship with the regulators. So then some of our multinationals handle the regulatory side of things. Some of our products are regulated by SONCAP, so that also helps us make importation easier. But it's still a challenge. We have many products we want to import that are sold around the world, but we are not able to get into Nigeria because of the challenging regulatory environment. I won't say we've figured it out. It's still a challenge, a major challenge for us, and not just us, a lot of players in the industry. Okay, but we are hoping in the next few months and years, as we engage better with the regulators and regulator understands the industry better, things will improve. But it's a tough area. It's a tough area.
So do you have relationships that help make it easier, or how do you?
Yeah. Well, as a pharmacist, we have relationships. We have colleagues. And so it's very important. Like I said, as a business person, keep your relationships very. Be a good networker. Somebody usually knows somebody that you can talk to that can enlighten you. It could be a church member, it could be an old schoolmate from secondary school, from primary school, who has more experience, or even works with the NAFDAC or something, and you have a challenge you can discuss, and they can tell you a way to go around that challenge. So we just go with our intuitiveness. We try to be entrepreneurial, talk to them. Sometimes we've been fined before, sometimes we are fine, but we try to be compliant as much as possible in our relationships with the regulator. But like I said, it's still an ongoing conversation. Okay.
So what about the importation side?
Okay.
All the challenges of forex. How is that?
I think any importer that you ask that question will just tell you that it is so tough. We do forms. We work with government. Sometimes we have to source forex from the market. Sometimes we have to walk through intermediaries, friends and family, colleagues who live abroad. Just find a way to solve the Nigerian problem. Nigeria is a complex problems that you not experience in any other environment you would experience here. But I never say without. Also, opportunities you will not find in any environment you also find here. So we think a lot on our feet. We don't just do it for business. We do have hospitals that cannot do a procedure without some of our consumables. These things are a matter of life and death. For example, we have a part of our business is involved in cardiology, cardiothoracic surgery, which is a growing area of healthcare in Nigeria. Very few hospitals do it. If a person has a problem with their heart, it's not treated, they will die. That's just it. And if the surgeons, the caregivers do not have the equipment, the consumables to do it, the outcome is more compromised. It's a more challenging outcome. So we have to find a way to get these products in. So we just sometimes somebody just puts something in and just find a way to get it in so that these procedures can go ahead. Okay. But more and more products are being registered. We have products that we already started applications for that we're going to bring in the new year, so that we have a lot more products that are registered. Like I said, some products are devices that are regulated by SONCAP, Standard Organization of Nigeria, and that is also another way to do it. Forex sourcing, it's tough. It's tough, my brother. It's tough. We would like to do a lot more importation, and this pain is suffered by every player, multinational organizations, our partners, manufacturers. It's a pain suffered, but we hope again that things will improve. CBN policies are getting better. There are initiatives to make importation easier. We as manufacturers have to do a better job of interfacing with CBN, with NAFDAC, explain our challenges, and let's have roundtables about how to solve this problem. That's something that I am very passionate about. There's too much isolation. The regulator is doing his things, CBN is doing their thing, importers are doing their thing, and everybody is just trying to get results, and we're not working together. And who is the ultimate person who suffers? The Nigerian patient. If we keep the Nigerian and the Nigerian patient at heart, we'll find a way to work together.
All right. Thanks, Sola.